What up, YouTube? We back at it again. I just finished watching some sports. I think my sons are still playing. They didn't really show up tonight from what I saw at halftime, so I turned that shit off. Football's over. It's Thursday night. Um, there's nothing going on back there. You're gonna see a screensaver soon. Do me a favor, if you're new to my channel, if you're not new to my channel, run over to Tim's page and show some love. God, it's fucking hot in here. Is that AC broken again? Yeah, I live in Arizona. It's still fucking hot in November. I get it. Yeah, go throw Tim some love, please. Like, subscribe to his content, support the artist. If you like what I do, please like, comment down below, subscribe. We changed up the colors a little bit. I was stuck on blue for a while. I wanted to spice things up. So I felt like rainbows would be spicy. Yeah. I don't know. I spent a lot of time in my closet today, going through clothing, guys. Shit, chill. No, it's fun. It's fun. I like colors and lights and shit. Anyways, yeah, this is 8 minutes long. This was a another rec coming in on Patreon. This is the link I got, although it wasn't the title I was given. So I have no idea what I'm diving into, but it's Tim, so the person is correct. And Tim's an entertainer, so everything he does is going to be entertaining, nonetheless. So let's dive in. One day you'll be as good as Elton John. Yeah, different roads, different avenues. I love Elton John. No, I didn't put the rainbows. Come on, get your mind out of the gutter. I do love Elton John. Seen him live a couple times, which is really cool for somebody as young as me, right? We're like the same age, kinda. Um, different. Elton John's not a. He's not a comedian. They're completely different. I'm not even sure where that quote came from, but for somebody if somebody said that to Tim, that'd be ludicrous, because they both play the piano. That's kind of silly, and they sing. Anyways, let's go.
I spent the vast majority of my adult life.
Wow, we're quiet.
As a poor musician.
Let's start that over.
I've spent the vast majority of my adult life as a poor musician, up until the point that it struck me that my music was a joke.
See, he's good at he's really good at his voice inflections. Pay attention to him. Like, he knows his script. It's here, and even if it's not, he knows where to pause, where to place an odd breath, like he just did. Was through my adult life. Like, he does that shit on purpose because it adds to the comic value. And it puts sort of a strain or a stress. And he didn't. I'm sorry, I'm talking, but he didn't even get into his sentence yet. But like, just pay attention to what he does that isn't verbiage. That's not him talking. It's just what he does. With his breathing, with pausing, with his smirks, and his random grins and where he's looking. It's when he pulls his hair back and shit. It's always sort of premeditated, but it's done on the fly. It's like a freestyle premeditation of. That's where that comic relief, that comic sort of value comes in. It just being a witty fucking smart dude that knows he's a performer. He performs. He's born to do this shit. He would do this even if he wasn't on stage. I feel like.
And one of the things that happens when you're a starving artist is it's weird because wealthy professional people whose lifestyle you covet often come up to you and profess envy for your lifestyle, citing reasons such as flexible work hours and geographical freedom and always something to do with the potential for spiritual growth. Don't even know what that means. And they always seem to have a musical instrument tucked away in the dark recesses of their past with which they seem to have a relationship of regret, as if they believe that it was just a fleeting childhood decision that steered them away from the path of the virtuosic classical cellist or the heavy metal singer and towards that of the pharmaceutical salesperson or whatever they became. And it sort of goes like this. Tim, is it? Yeah. So what do you do? I'm a pianist. Penis? No, I'm a pianist. Yeah, I know. It sounds like penis, though. Yeah, I know.
Frat boy jokes.
So piano, eh? Wow, yeah. You know, I used to play piano. Did up to grade 7. Always regret giving it up, you know. I wish I'd stuck with it. You're so lucky. Thanks. What do you do? I'm a gynecologist.
And I'm the lucky one, right? He is probably. Yeah. I would not want to be a gynecologist. It might sound glamorous to like a 16 and a half year old. But then you realize when you grow up a tad, it's not all I'm gonna get a little vulgar right now. No, I'm gonna let that be. Anyways, carry on.
Wow. Gynecology. Yeah, I used to play truth and dare with my cousin. I once stuck a shoehorn up her fanny. I wish I'd stuck with it, you know. You're so lucky.
A shoehorn? What do you try to get her to fit into? Jeez. Cousin, huh? Is there a South in Australia? I know there is. I was just joking. That'd be like we equate that to like redneck jokes in the States here, where we're talking about cousins and gynecology, and he's a minute and a half in, and we're on those jokes. All right, it's no boundaries with Tim ever, right? Let's go.
So, but I have lots of. I mean, I have loads of professional friends, and they're all wonderful people. The only group of professionals that I have a little bit of a problem with is stockbrokers. And if there's any stockbrokers in the audience, I don't have a problem with what you do. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I have a grammatical issue with your job because broke is the past tense of break.
Brokers, yeah.
So you can't actually have a broker. I don't call myself a singer.
That's what I was gonna say when he said pianist. Does he identify? His pronouns are pianist and him and. Would he say by trade his profession is pianist? Is it entertainer? Is it comedian? He does sing, but he just says he doesn't say he's a singer. I mean, what would you say? What do you do? I kind of do. I dabble. I dabble with instruments and fun and jokes. I don't know. It's not like very black and white, right? If he's a pianist, you would think like, my thought would be like, classically trained and like, is composing music and would be on stage with a full ensemble, or just but I wouldn't think right away. The comic element, the singing element, I would just say entertainer. But a stripper's an entertainer, a video game is an entertainer, so that's kind of broad too. Anyway, sorry.
So this is a beat poem, you lucky dogs, about a conversation I had with a stockbroker, and it's called Mitsubishi Colt.
Okay, now I get it. So the title, that's what I was given, it was titled Mitsubishi Colt, which I didn't see in the title, so I had no idea. I was walking into something with Elton John. I was like, I'm probably doing the wrong song. Got it. Mitsubishi Colt. Like a car. I don't know. They don't make Mitsubishis anymore, do they? I think it's been a while, right? The Eclipse was badass.
He looks at me intensely, eyes sparkle, contact lens green with artificial envy. Cocks his head and fixes me with a condescending stare, flicks his bleached blonde tipped hair and theorizes thus. You know what I reckon? Pause for effect. Adjusts his tackle as if it's semi-erect. I figure I better give him what I know he expects. What do you reckon? A hand on the shoulder, an avuncular wink, sips his lemon drink, spits out the pips, hands on hips, licks his lips like a wolf near a flock. Yet again adjusting this fantasy cock, he delivers his philosophy. I reckon it don't matter. It don't mean squat what you earn or what you got or the style of your hair or what you wear. It matters not. I mean, what do you care that I live on a hill with views of the beach? That my chicks and my dogs have an ensuite bathroom each? That I've already reached my first 10 million and I'm only 36?
It's funny with when he's doing his like kind of southern twang accent and what he's saying as far as like in relation to a businessman that's sort of very polished. And yeah, it's not too fast for me. Most of my channel, Troy, is if you I break apart lyrics and rap songs. It's so I can keep up with this. It's for whatever reason I thought of like a younger Jerry Jones, like the owner of the Cowboys. Bleach tips in the way that he was describing it, and then like going off on his tangent with like just talking about like the cock part, and then like just the sort of underhanded like kind of fucking jabs of what his thought process is of this gentleman that are going on in his head while this person's talking, and he's probably just like, yeah, okay, what do you reckon? Like, that's fantastic. No, I love this. Is great.
Dogs have an ensuite bathroom each. That have already reached my first 10 million and I'm only 36. You're as thick as two bricks if you think you can fix what is broke in your life with money. And the funny thing is, and I shit you not, I would give it all up like that.
And then life advice from somebody 36, right?
He leaves me to ponder his wisdom for a bit, and with a click of his fingers, he beckons the blondest, bimboest barmaid, and grinning ridiculously, orders a G&T and a beer for me. And before I can escape, he's back saying, "'Cause mate, it's all superficial, all that crap. It's all just a front."
I'm sorry, you guys this is getting really loud on your end. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit for you. My apologies.
"'Cause mate, it's all superficial, all that crap. It's all just a front. I mean, anyone can be a rich cunt, but the thing we all want can't be bought with dosh. You know what I mean, boss? Because it's not like you give a toss that when I want to get slim, I've got my own private gym and a personal trainer called fucking Danielle or Darlene. She's got tits like those chicks in them chick magazines, and it's not like you."
And even like, so Tim's got bars. I like it. Even the him sort of personifying himself and his narration of this gentleman's like even the way that he's talking about just belittling like females, and like it paints your kind of southern kind of from where I'm from, like your southern sort of trust fund kind of handed a spoon to a business and thinks he's more the wise than really anybody he talks to, and he'll just spit his wisdom. And it's like they say, the difference in people who like to talk and people who just sit back and listen, right? So, but the way that he was sort of playing like the I don't even remember her name, but she's a trainer and she's got really nice tits or whatever. But that's not really the point here. We're not talking about her. The point is, I'm going to help you get your life on track, right? Okay, I reckon you will.
You care that I own a controlling share of an overseas company that builds accounting software? It matters not one bit. I mean, who gives a shit that I earn 600 grand and drive a brand new Land Rover? You know, I'd hand it all over like that. He pauses for a beat, long enough for me to retreat to a seat and sit elbow on bar and contemplate this guru with his white teeth and big car, and ponder silently my belief that genius comes in many forms, and that this pontificating peroxided porn star prick ain't one of them. My speculation cut short as he reforms like Terminator 2, and before I have time to abort, he descends upon me
and that's it too. Just he's not talking about Arnold in that movie. He's talking about the cop who reforms. Like literally, it's liquid nitrogen, right? So it just, but the dude is just, you could if he wasn't made of metal, you could still fucking cut your steak with his jawline. It's just chiseled. I mean, he didn't have bleach tips in the movie, but I guarantee he bleached them afterwards. Just you had to, that day and age, looking like that. I haven't watched that movie in a minute, by the way. That's classic. Need to throw that back.
Snorts. I guess what I'm trying to say in my own little way is that I reckon musos and artists and that, well, I reckon they're great. I know some people who reckon you guys just sit on your bums and don't get out of bed till the pizza man comes and smoke cones and take crack and whack off all day, but I don't care what they say. And I don't listen to people who say all actors are gay. Not that I don't think that's okay. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, although it's not my bag, if you want to be a fag, you know? I mean, who am I to say where you come and where you go in the privacy of your...
Where you come and where you go. Jesus. The way that he just rolled that too, and I'm sorry, I pause a lot. It's a reaction channel, that's what I do. The way that he just rolled that speech is exactly how that conversation would go. It like basically like it's patronizing. He's essentially talking down to him. He's like, oh yeah, you musicians and your type, and I get you hippie fucks and whatever the fuck. And then you bring up something that like might be sort of questionable or walk a fine line as far as like acceptable in your normal vernacular with regards to like conversation with a stranger. If we're talking about gays, and then he's like, and then the way that he interrupted himself, it's not that I don't think that's okay. It doesn't matter to me where you put things, where you come, where you go, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's just like, and then at that point, he's just talking to himself. And again, Tim's just sitting there like, all right. Just like, I'm just going to listen and I really hope this guy finishes his what do you say, his gin and tonic or his whatever kind of fucking drink he ordered.
Your own homo. Homo. My bag. If you want to be a fag, you know? I mean, who am I to say where you come and where you go in the privacy of your own homo? Homo.
Lots of little nuances of the play on words that he's doing, the come and go and the your own homo. Yeah.
Homo. He's shitting me now. And my eyes start to glaze, and through the haze of my anger I notice his G&T is gone, and he's starting to dribble as he dribbles on and fucking on. But you musos are alright. I don't know much about music, but I know what I like, and I reckon I'll give it all in to be like you, Jim. Because you might be poor in monetary terms, but what you earn spiritually, what makes you what you are, just means so much more than what you'll get from a really nice car or tennis courts or holidays in Greece or a house on the beach or stock market shares or 31 pairs of Calvin Klein underwear. Do you understand? You are a wealthy man. And mate, I don't want to piss in your pocket, but I gotta say, before I get on my way, that honestly, and I'm not having you on, I reckon one day you could play piano as good as Elton John.
And that's the build-up too. That's the salesman in that dude. Like, all right, now we're friends. He's like, oh man, we're not fucking friends. Shut the fuck up. And that's what he's like. He's like building him up and giving him these sideways fucking generic compliments that he thinks are, in respect to what he does and the things that he likes, and like they're best friends. Once he finishes his drink, as you noticed, and that's where he's just you could do things with your life, and I'm really helping this gentleman right now by talking to him. That's making him feel better than anything. That's what the point of that conversation is. It's like, I'm gonna throw my dick around with my stuff. And meanwhile, I'm gonna help this young here starving musician find his way in the world. And by golly, one day we'll be on my saddle ranch, and he'll have his saddle ranch next door, and I'll invite him over for a barbecue, and he can meet Wilma inside, and shucks, we can watch Yellowstone together and drink some of my finest whiskey, and we'll invite all of our cousins over, and we can do gynecology things. I'm just kidding, but anyways. Is he playing Elton?
The cops are still mingling, though the crowd shuffled out. I've got ice on my hand where my fist met his mouth. And although I explained that it wasn't my fault, I have an $800 fine for aggravated assault. So before it gets worse, I reckon I'll bolt. A wealthy man in a 1981 Mitsubishi Colt.
Wonderful. Oh, we got more? Or are we just gonna stare at this for 20 seconds? Probably the latter. Yeah. Cool. I'm just gonna let it go. If you're gonna allot me 20 seconds to stare at your recommendations, we got Dara O'Brien on advertising the media. Talks funny. The fucking sack. Interesting. Comedy Central could do that with their. You're not allowed to put anything that resembles any sort of swear word in a thumbnail. Otherwise, your video won't be published, unless you're more important, like our bleached tip gentleman with the green contacts in his eyes and the shiny bright white teeth. Um, no, that was fantastic. It's so funny because like and I'm just talking from my own experience like as an American, like I know exactly the type of dude he's talking about. Um and it's comical cuz usually you just I mean, you don't punch him. That's assault, like he said. um but or maybe you do. Depends where the nearest exit is and if there's cameras, I guess. Um or how important is he, you know? Or if you can bait him into punching you first, you know. Um, I mean, because he doesn't give a fuck. He's Dude drives a Land Rover. I mean, in the fees he would pay in court, he spent that in repairs, like the last 2 weeks, and then subsequently the next 2 weeks until that thing dies in 4 weeks. Um, no, that was awesome. I love that. Uh, his his humor, I'm starting to understand it more. I mean, I get it. Like throughout, it's just you gotta pay attention because there's a lot of things that he does that aren't even within his like I was saying, like it's not even with his words. It's in how he uses them, and how he emotes essentially. Um, so no, that's why I was saying I wouldn't necessarily just call him a pianist. Um, yes, he can play piano well. um, I'm sure he can play Elton John songs. I can. They're Some of them aren't. I don't consider myself a pianist. That thing back there is for making beats and, and I can play a little bit, but like I'm not fucking classically trained. Anyways, um, no, he's hilarious though. With like I was saying, with like the way that he sort of emotes, and you watch his eyes light up, and just how he sort of plays with sentences and words. The rhyming, I think I've heard that capability in something else of his. I gotta think back, but that didn't surprise me at all. Because if you look at that, like almost like I listen to a lot of rap, and I do on my channel a lot too, and I break down lyrics of rap songs where people are going very fast. Um, and if you listen to his rhyme schemes and his setups, I mean, he was sort of talking his way through it. It wasn't like a singing, on beat rap song. He just had a piano. He didn't have any more instrumental, there was no beats to support it beyond what he was creating with the piano. So it's just his voice. But if you look at how bars are set up with rhyme schemes, you have like your internal, your external rhyme schemes, and how he uses words that rhyme. He was bending words too to even fit rhymes, words that didn't rhyme. I could go back and tear apart that entire rap, but y'all don't want to spend another fucking 20 minutes with me. I could, but if you listen to how he sets up those words, a lot of the times what like when you're setting up rhyme schemes like that, you'll always find the rhymes in the same places, either start or finish or in the middle, and it's usually consistent throughout. When the song is consistent to a beat. Now, the way that he layered his, where he would mix and match like complex rhyme schemes. So he would use internal and external rhyme schemes, like ABA, and then he would do ABA again, and then just A B. It would, if that makes sense. But it's the way that he was sort of setting that up was it's impressive. But again, it doesn't surprise me because he's a wordsmith and he's a lyricist, but he's not a rapper. Um, but if he wanted to be, he probably could make some like he'd have to take a weird approach, because he doesn't like pianist. Um, he doesn't really necessarily fit your average rapper kind of stereotypes, so those who follow rap probably wouldn't either get it or catch a hold of it. I'm not pigeonholing him. I'm just saying he's sort of already, by media standards, pigeonholed himself, and that's fine. He does. He's got his own lane, and he's so fucking awesome at it. But as far as like, I think it'd be funny though, because it's like it'd be somewhat like consistent with like stuff like a Weird Al take on, and that this is apples and oranges, right? But like it would be sort of like a like parody sort of stuff, or it'd be taken that way just because like who's this crazy looking long haired redhead guy that's that's rapping and he's good at it. Anyways, I've taken way too much of your time. Go support Tim, please. Like, subscribe to his content. Comments down below, please. Like if you like, comment down below. Like I said, everything does go on Patreon. That's where these requests come from. Please, if you could, if you have any requests or recommendations, run over there. It's free. Join, whatever. Everything goes up there anyways, even if it's copyright blocked, which does happen often. But I do get notifications right away, so I can respond quickly. But yeah, we'll have a wonderful rest of your night. We'll catch you on the next.